In this world of technology, things are ever changing, rearranging. You need someone to help you out. I know someone who can. Come and take a journey with me as we go through the land of technology. You'll never be alone. You'll be with Paul Amadeus Lane in the tech zone.
Welcome back to the show. I'm Paul Amadeus Lane. If you missed the first segment of the show, make sure you check it out. We tackled the verification process of social media, in particular Instagram. I went through their process, and then maybe some questions and concerns that we who are on social media may have about this verification process. So make sure you definitely check that out. When I get emails about show pitches, different stories out there, I always give it a fair shake because, I mean, you got people out there that want to talk about their message, talk about their product, and hey, you know, I believe everybody should have a voice and let people know how they feel. I came across this one email the other day, and I took a look at this video, and this video blew me away. This person was so deep. Some of you out there may not understand what deep means. Deep means just like when he talked, you're just like, wow, this is pretty cool. If you don't believe me, here, check this out.
I was born in the midst of a revolution, and I survived. And I've grappled with revolutionary dynamics ever since. The biggest gift of this trauma is the gift of anticipation. And this is why I'm here today. Most people associate with a revolution a sudden event. They hear something on the news about riots, and then the next thing they hear is that the government has been overthrown. But revolutions don't take place just like this. It's much more like you take an early morning walk into the forest. You might feel some humidity, and then it seems suddenly you're in the middle of a fog. But fog evolves gradually, just like revolutions. And when we look at the first industrial revolution, it took 100 years to fully evolve. So now we're at the time of big shifts, with major breakthroughs in science and technology, structural changes in politics, economics, and society. And this is the very definition of an industrial revolution.
See, I told you guys that was deep, wasn't it? And I'm so happy when I reached out to this individual that he accepted my invitation to come on the show. And you don't have to wait a week or so for me to get him on. He's actually joining me right now, and I'm so excited to have him on. And let's welcome our very special guest on. And I'm so happy this next gentleman on with me. Got a chance to check out his TED Talk on artificial intelligence, and I wanted to have him on. He's joining me from Austria, halfway around the world, Xerxes Voskir. How are you doing, Xerxes? Great to have you, my friend.
Yeah, thanks for hosting me. I'm doing fine. Thanks for having me. I'm looking forward to talk to you about artificial intelligence and the future of humanity.
And you know what's pretty cool, Xerxes, you know, when it comes to technology, here I am in California in the United States. You're in Austria right now. You and I have an opportunity to have this conversation. I think that's pretty cool when it comes to technology, don't you think?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. It wouldn't have been possible quite some time ago.
Absolutely. And I mentioned this before I brought you on, just about artificial intelligence and where we're at in the stream of time. Now, we've heard a term thrown out on a number of occasions, and that is the AI revolution. So this is why I really wanted to have you on to talk about this. And what is that revolution?
Well, my personal take is really, I mean, people talk a lot about revolution. Every new development in technology is the next big thing, the next revolution. But I personally think that artificial intelligence actually might be a real revolution, because we're not just talking about a technology evolving and emerging, But we are really talking about that artificial intelligence might be the next step in human evolution. Because when we look at the term artificial in artificial intelligence, it might just be the wrong term. It's not artificial, it's man-made intelligence through computers, through technology. And in this respect, it can equally be called machine intelligence. And then when we look at us human beings, also from a scientific point of view, we are also machines. We are just biological machines. So the real revolution in the artificial intelligence revolution is if artificial intelligence is able to develop some type of consciousness. And there is, of course, different opinions. Some people think that it's not possible at all that machines or machine intelligence will be able to create some type of self-consciousness. But there's also people, and I'm one of them, who believe that in theory, there's a fair chance that machines will develop a certain type of intelligence and consciousness.
And Xerxes, I know I'm a big sci-fi guy. I know you and I kind of talked about this even before I brought you on. We both like Star Trek, and everything. Um, when we look at what we see on TV, sometimes that causes us to be kind of terrified of the future when it comes to artificial intelligence. That being said, Xerxes, should we be concerned about artificial intelligence?
Well, again, I believe depends from which perspective we look at it and what we actually are doing. I mean, there's no technology that as such is a bad technology or a technology that we need to be afraid of. It really depends on what we do with that technology. And so in this respect, when we compare it to like if we would breed a new type of dog, and we would breed it in this way that this dog would have a human type of intelligence, then the question is, do we need to be afraid of dogs with human type of intelligence? For me, the answer is, well, it depends on how we teach these dogs what they should do, should not do, what the rules are that they need to abide to. And if we teach dogs that are physically more powerful than people, maybe to kill people, then of course it's a danger. But if we teach the dogs to serve people, then it's not a danger. And it's the same thing with artificial intelligence. So it depends really on which rules, which paradigms, which dogmas we program into the artificial intelligence, into the machine intelligence. Because based on what we program into them, they develop. And so basically, if we program beneficial things for humans and humanity, there's no reason to be afraid of.
So, in other words, the ones who are programming have to have a conscience to make sure not to program the AI with nefarious ideas or for bad things. And when it comes to these rules, how can we make sure that these rules are governed in a way that we program them with good intentions?
Well, I mean, there's different points that are important in this respect. So first of all, I believe that basically the way the economy is run, which is mainly profit driven. Well, it's not mainly profit driven. It's actually 100% profit driven. That this mindset of profit being the ultimate maxim is in our age of time now overdue. Because when we look at profit and look at what we are capable of doing and capable of doing in the sake of profit, then we have a little bit of a problem. Because when it comes to profit maximization, being humane, being social, is not the ultimate goal. So we really need to program and overcome this maxim of profit maximization, go towards the maxim of purpose maximization. So a purpose could be to save the planet basically with the environmental problems that we have. So no matter if it's man-made or not, but we definitely have an issue with climate change. Then really a lot of social problems that we have in the world. So all these type of things, when it comes to being humane, these rules we really have to rethink and reconsider, and we need a new type of economy. The other part discussion apart from the economy is really when we look at the rules, it's you could say in a way a spiritual discussion. And then when we look at all the major religions, the rules that we have received through all major religions is not to kill, not to steal, not to lie, and things like this. It's the same in every single religion. There's no difference between any religion. You will find the same set of rules. So when we are talking about which rules do we want to program into the artificial intelligence, I mean, for thousands of years, every religion has set up the same type of rules. So basically, we are now at the verge of the superhuman revolution where man and machine will merge. It's the next step in human evolution. So now these type of rules again become a certain type of importance that they haven't had in a long, long time in human history.
Wow, wow, that's some major stuff, and really enjoyed your insight on it, on what should govern the programming in AI. And wow, it's a really sobering subject to talk about, Xerxes, especially the time in which we live in. And really enjoyed your insight on that. And one thing I really appreciated about your TED talk, you talked about how your life experiences really just molded your thinking, when it comes to a lot of things. And when we look at the new age, new economic system, how has your life experience helped guide you into molding how you think about this subject?
Um, well, basically, I've been traveling a lot. I mean, I guess when it comes to talk, how I start to talk, I basically come from a family that has been in power in Iran before the Iranian Revolution, and we went into exile after the revolution. So basically, what happened is that it has had a big impact, not just on my family, on many families, on many people. And the question who were the good guys and the bad guys, it's always a matter of perspective. So but to look at what happened for me personally, I've grappled with revolutionary dynamics because of this events ever since I was born. Because I would have had a very different life if it hadn't taken place. And so for one thing, really, when I look at things happening, I'm really looking at them and events happening, like the events that are happening now in the world. And really, I look at these type of events from this perspective. Apart from that, I've been traveling a lot, and I've traveled in many countries and to many countries, and I've also within countries and also back here in Austria, which is my home now. I never had these lines and borders of different social classes, which do exist in many countries still very strongly. In some countries more subtle, in other countries less subtle. And because I don't have that, I can really see and pierce through different types of thinkings and connect different types of ideas, different types of people. And so to make the long story short, really what I believe and see is that that this whole old type of mindset of how we perceive humans from different classes, from different races, from different backgrounds. We're all brothers and sisters, basically. It doesn't matter if we're people of color, if we're have disabilities, if we have this background or that background. When it comes to the times that we're facing now, where we really have to, as a humanity, work together to be solving the biggest challenges that we're facing right now, it doesn't matter which color we have, which background we have, and so on and so forth. When it comes to the economy, really, this also shows itself in the economy, that how can we create a purpose-driven economy where we share the wealth and the income that exists in the whole world between all the people, more or less, but not share in the sense of that some people work and other people don't, and then it just gets shared, but like how we create equal chances and opportunities for the people around the world.
Wow, I love it. I love it, Xerxes, and have you open it up about your experiences in life. You know, really just really connects with all of us. You know, and the things that you went through, and how you're just educating us when it comes to AI now is pretty dynamic and pretty amazing. And that's one thing when we look at artificial intelligence. It's really kind of like going to be the great, I want to say, equalizer. I remember a few years back I was at a tech conference that I spoke at, and one of the engineers was talking about how in the United States they have this one McDonald's that's fully automated. And when you look at something like that, when I was growing up, while we were in school, we would all get jobs like at fast food restaurants. It was easy for us to get a job there. But now we see with artificial intelligence, a lot of people are thinking, where are these jobs going? But then they really encourage kids in school now to learn coding, really take advantage
Yeah.
of STEM education where they can write codes for this type of technologies out there. So um, if we can fast forward, Xerxes, let's say 5 to 10 years from now, and we transport ourselves, ahead in time, we time travel. What what is the economy and what is just work as we know it looking like?
Well, it will change very much. And as you said, I mean, programming is going to be one major skill that people will have and need to have. Basically, I personally believe that this is really a lack. I mean, from most governments in most countries, in Asia, they are much more advanced, but basically, children should learn coding, basic coding in school already, in elementary school, because technology is everywhere and coding will be very important. So there will be a lot of people who won't have the ability anymore to learn coding or basic coding. But I mean, the majority of people will in future will need it. So, I mean, if you want to empower yourself, you should start to understand the basic concepts of coding and understand the basic concepts of computer algorithms. But when it comes to the people who do not have the ability to do that, and this is really when we start to talk about when we look at spirituality and look at all the old books of spirituality, may it be the Bible, may it be the Torah, may it be the Quran, books in the Vedic books from Hinduism or Buddhistic books, whatever. You find everywhere the same things. And in the times where many people won't be able to keep up with the technological development, really, we need to find ways and solutions that these people who cannot keep up still will have the opportunity to do work, and if they cannot do work, at least have the chance to still have a good life, because the rest of society allows these people to do have at least fairly good life, maybe not a luxurious life, but we cannot do this technological development on the expense of a few billion of people that might not be able to keep up with these developments.
That makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. And Xerxes, before I let you go, is there anything else that you would like to speak on the subject when it comes to artificial intelligence and just some things that we can be aware of?
Basically, I think generally, I mean, there is a lot of positive developments. There's a lot of people in technology who are aware of the challenges that we are facing, and it's going to be basically a development where there's different interests, and it's really important for the people to inform themselves about these opportunities that and the developments that are happening for society, basically, and to be supporting the companies that really work towards a benevolent system in the world, and not a purely profit-driven system where the ones who cannot keep up will have a negative impact. And so there are these companies out there are these entrepreneurs out there. Get informed and support the companies, support the products, start working for them, start promoting them. So that's really important.
And speaking on that subject, just briefly, what do you think is going to be the biggest challenge of trying to achieve this non-profit society out there, this new economy?
Well, I wouldn't say non-profit society. I would say it's where profit has a secondary importance, because still, I mean, we need to make profit, and making profit is not a bad thing. But the main thing needs to be purpose. But the main challenges in that is that there are still old power structures that haven't basically changed, maybe for a few decades, maybe even for a few centuries. Maybe the players have changed, but the structures are more or less the same. And of course, these power structures are going to be against the new type of development where they will lose at least some extent of their power. So to be convincing these people that we are looking at a development which is for the whole humanity a good thing, and also for them, might be a certain type of challenge, because they're just used to be in power for such a long time.
I love it. I love it, Xerxes, and thank you so much for coming on the program and talking about this. I'm so glad that we were able to connect and just you providing insight on the subject, and would love to have you back on again and talk more about this. I mean, really insightful, really impactful. Now, if ones would like
Thank you, Rob.
to follow you and catch up on you and check out some of the mind blowing things that you talk about when it comes to AI, how can they do that?
Well, basically, I'm online. I have my own website, which is xerxes.re, like reunion or revolution. And also my handles on Twitter, on LinkedIn, they're all Xerxes RE, either with a dash or without a dash. So it's quite easy to find me.
Awesome. And Xerxes, thank you so much, my brother, for joining me on the show, and looking forward to catching up with you soon. Live long and prosper.
Yeah. Yes, thanks. You too.
A huge shout out to my man Xerxes. Enjoyed having him on, talking about the AI revolution and a lot of deep information that he was able to give to us. And I'm so happy that he wanted to be on with me and talk about this very important subject, and look forward to catching up with him and hearing this deep thinker once again. All right, when we get back, we're going to talk about how spending during the next few months. We all know during the holidays you get the best deals on electronics. My guest is going to talk about what are some of the things that may be driving the spending coming up in the next few months. But before we go to our break, I want to talk to you again about getting off the grid. I know here in California, there's electric companies that are turning off power because of the threat of fires. And, you know, we really see where they're coming from, right? Because something may spark a fire, they get sued. So it's kind of like a catch-22 that they're in. But what can we do to protect ourselves? Well, my friends over at GoSun has some emergency solutions that can help us out if we are ever faced with this type of situation, whether we live in California other parts of the United States and even around the world. Go to gosun.co. That's GOSUN.co. Check out some of the great solar products that they have. They have battery backup systems, so even when the grid goes down, you can keep on cooking, chilling. You can keep on existing in lighting. So definitely check them out. And when you do, use the promo code TechZone, all one word, and we'll give you a special discount. All right? All right, when we get back, we're going to talk about spending, tech spending, and what the forecasters are saying for the next few months. We'll be right back here with more show coming up after this.
In this world of technology, things are ever changing, rearranging. You need someone to help you out. I know someone who can. Come and take a journey with me as we go through the land of technology. You'll never be alone. You'll be with Paul Amadeus Lane in the tech zone.